Hey GYC, welcome back. We are so glad that you're tuning in tonight, and we're pumped for our gathering, our online gathering.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. My name is Jesse. This is...
Joy.
She almost forgot. Did you hear that? She almost forgot who she was.
I kind of thought you were going to say it, and then I was like, oh. Anyway,
I wasn't going to.
Hi, my name's Joy.
You embarrass me sometimes.
You embarrass me all the time.
Yes,
anyway,
that is a husband's job.
Moving on.
So here we are.
Moving on.
We're excited for tonight, you guys. Don't worry, we're not fighting. This is just playful banter, as they say. So anyways, tonight we got some stuff planned. But before we jump into our activity and the message, I want to give an announcement that next week, 7:30 p.m., we have something exciting coming back. That is GYC Zoom life groups.
Woo!
We all know that life kind of stinks when you try to do it alone.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
So we're going to be starting up groups together because honestly, with even just how the past year has been, I think it has highlighted just the need and importance of community. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have groups for...
Yes. For junior high and high school. So don't worry. You'll be with your own peeps, your own age, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So if you're out there and you're a high schooler and you're thinking, man, I don't want to talk about life's deep problems with the sixth grader or vice versa, don't worry. It'll be same group, kind of age group. It'll be great. And that's going to be next week.
Yeah,
those going to be awesome. To it. Yeah. And the other cool thing about those groups too is once we eventually move back to in-person gatherings, because we're hoping eventually that will happen, that will actually, those groups you're in will become your in-person life groups. You'll get to see each other. It's going to be great. We'll get to see you. Just to clarify, this is not an announcement. We don't know when that's happening. But when that day comes, it will be back in person, and we are looking forward to it. It's going to be great. So what we're going to do right now is a quick activity. I'm sure you're thinking, what is up with these ping pong balls and these bowls? So what we're going to do is Joy and I are actually going to have a competition. And I'm sure many of you out there watch... Gosh, Joy.
Sorry.
Many of you come on a Wednesday night and the youth pastor or the leader, like a bacon or a baker, is like, hey, here's this dumb game to embarrass yourself. We want you to do this in front of all your friends. Well, now we're going to embarrass ourselves and have this same game. What we're going to do is we're actually going to have a race. And we're going to see who can get the best time at transferring all of these ping pong balls from one bowl to the next with a twist, only with a spoon. So it's going to be great. Joy, do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
Oh, I thought we were doing this at the same time.
No, we're going to race each other.
Yeah, isn't that the point of a race? You do it at the same time?
I mean, I guess we can just do it that way. Just then no one can talk if we both have spoons in our mouths.
Well, that's okay.
Okay, I guess guys out there who are one day going to get married to a lovely lady, listen to your wife. She knows what's best. So,
okay.
Ready the spoons?
Okay. We're just going until somebody finishes, right?
Yes, that is the plan until one person gets their ping pong balls transferred over first. In the comments, let us know why do you think I will win and not Joy? Let us know why Jesse's going to win this activity today.
Not happening.
Okay.
Okay.
The game will begin in 3, 2.5, 2. Joy, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready.
1, go. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
This is an awful game idea.
This was your idea.
That's 1. Oh! Oh no!
You have to go pick that up.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Send prayers, please.
Oh, yeah.
If you're out here watching and this makes you feel uncomfortable, no worries. Joy, I've knocked 3 off the table.
Go get him. Oh no, I lost one.
That was a trick shot. That was amazing. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go get the other ones. Because I think you're about to win anyway. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. As you can see, Joy is still trying to figure this out. She's getting close.
Woo! Okay, I only lost one off the table. Jesse lost
Joy
a
is
bunch.
the winner. This game is rigged.
Whatever. Somebody's
Gosh.
a sore loser.
No, I won.
You did
You
not.
stole that from me.
You did not.
I am the winner. I
Well,
am the winner.
boom.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this activity. Hopefully, after watching that, you'll still watch next week. We like to keep you guys entertained and do funny things like this. Joy, did you have a
Actually-
great time?
Yes, but the real reason was because we just wanted to inspire you to play this game at home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to. So if your
Literally
parents
no one's gonna do
walk into your room and they see you with a couple of bowls and some ping pong balls and a spoon in your mouth, you can at least say, "Don't worry, Mom and Dad, the youth pastor said so."
There you
So
go.
I guess that's where we are. Hey guys, right now we're going to transition into our series that we've been walking through called The Youth Will Always Win.
Will the youth win?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to week number 3 of our series titled The Youth Will Always Win. The title of today's message is titled Waiting Game. If you are taking notes out there today, the series has been all about how we can live our faith in a way that is action-oriented. We can actually do something to help people, to serve others, and to have a faith that isn't stagnant, but that is active. Today, I want to start off with a story that some of you guys maybe are familiar with, maybe from a history class, maybe you just read about it on the news, but that is the story of someone named Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai was someone who made a difference in her life and actually around the world when she was just 11 years old. You see, Malala was a girl much like you guys out there, where at the age of 11, she noticed that there were some problems in her home country. She grew up in the nation of Pakistan, and if you know anything about their culture, women don't have the same access to certain rights as men do. One of those rights that she thought was a problem was the fact that young girls at her age didn't have access to education for women. So at a very young age, at the just 11 and 12 years old, we see that Malala actually goes on to become an activist, to raise awareness, to advocate for female education, not just in her village, but also in her country. And she starts to gain national attention. Now, when she's 12 years old, the Taliban, which is just a group of not great people in the Middle East, to put it lightly, actually wound up trying to assassinate her when she was just 12 years old. She ends up surviving the attack and goes on just a couple years later to actually win the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe at the age of 14, which is just like this crazy arc to her story. But all of it was because she believed that at just the age of 11 years old, she could start to make a difference in the world around her. We see from her story that someone so young made such an impact. And what I think is so encouraging for all of us today is that she didn't wait until she was older to finally make a difference. Tonight, what we're going to talk about, students, is that how regardless of your age, God still wants you to make a difference now. He doesn't want you to wait until you're 25, until you're 35, until you're married and have kids. He doesn't want you to wait for any of that to start impacting the people in the world around you. The tension I want us to wrestle with today is, do you feel like you are waiting until you are older to make a difference? You see, I believe that many of us out there have dreams that God has given us to make a difference in our life and in the world. Maybe you want to work in a profession that will change the way we serve and help people. Maybe you want to be an inventor and create the next cool thing that will make people's lives better. Maybe you want to work as a professional athlete and have an influence over the next generation. Maybe what your dream is to go into the medical field, or maybe to go into ministry and go into the business of helping people. I love what 1 Timothy 4:12 says, and it says this: "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." I think many of us out there today can resonate with this simple truth that sometimes people look down on us because of our age. Maybe not as much when you're going into high school, but I would say that especially if you're out there and you're in middle school, that people may not believe you're capable of that much. Now, maybe you come from a family where your parents are super supportive, they believe in you like crazy, maybe your teachers love you, and that's great, but that's not everyone's story. Maybe even if you're in an environment where everyone you feel like believes in you, you don't quite believe in yourself. But what I love about this verse in Timothy is that it reminds us that no matter what our age, we can make a difference in what we say. We can encourage people around us. We can build others up rather than tear them down. It tells us that we can make a difference through how we live regardless of our age. Did you know that even at the age you are now, you can start loving people and making a difference? You can serve others in the community. Maybe that's reaching out to the food bank and helping serve a meal, however that looks for you. It shows that we can make a difference in how we love others. That's also wrapped up in service, like we just talked about, but even just being there for people who are hurting. It shows us that even at a young age, we can set an example in how we follow Christ. And in just a moment, we're going to read a story about Jesus that shows this as well. It also tells us that we can set an example and make a difference in our purity regardless of our age. So a question for all of us to consider is, what does this mean for today? I think to find that answer, we can start by looking at the life of Jesus when he was actually 12 years old. And we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 2, verses 41 through 52. Let's read this together. Every year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. When Jesus was 12 years old, they attended the festival as usual. After the celebration was over, they started home to Nazareth, but Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents didn't miss him at first, which if any of you have ever been at like a fair or a sporting event and got separated from your parents, you know what that's like, because they assumed he was among the other travelers. But when he didn't show up that evening, they started looking for him among their relatives. When they couldn't find him, they went back to Jerusalem to search for him there. 3 days later, they finally discovered him in the temple, sitting among the religious leaders, listening to them and asking questions. All who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. His parents didn't know what to think. "Son," his mother said to him, "why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been frantic, searching for you everywhere." But why did you need to search?" Jesus asked. "Didn't you know that I must be in my Father's house?" But they didn't understand what he meant. Then he returned to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. And his mother stored all these things in her heart. Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and all the people. You see, here's what I notice about this story from the life of Jesus when he was 12 years old that I think applies to all of us today. Jesus didn't wait until he was older to start doing ministry and learning from others to make a difference. You see, at every age, whether it is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever age you are, we are qualified to help someone in our world and in our circle understand God's love for them and understand how much they mean to God. Many times, God calls us to do this simply through serving others, simply through reaching out and showing care, simply through reaching out and finding ways to love people. But the reality for all of us as well is that there's an enemy out there of all of us. He wants us to feel insecure. He wants us to feel like maybe you're not old enough. Maybe you're not smart enough. Maybe you're not talented enough to make a difference, so why bother? But as we see in 1 Timothy and as we also see in the life of Jesus, we know that God tells us and equips us at a young age and reminds us that we are capable of making a difference right now. You see, I remember back when I was in high school, and from when I was in junior high, I felt called to be a pastor. But as I was going through high school, I started to navigate this tension of feeling like I wanted to do ministry in that moment, but that I was too young, that I wasn't ready, that I wasn't equipped. And I remember riding in a car talking with one of my friends named Devin, which if you guys know Nolan, he's one of our youth leaders. Devin is actually his older brother. But Devin and I were hanging out one day talking about this tension that I was navigating. And he just said something that really changed my perspective. He said, honestly, you don't have to have a title to start pastoring people now. And I remember being a high schooler thinking, what do you mean I don't need a title? Like that means that I have the authority and the mantle to start pastoring, doesn't it? But pastoring in that season for me simply looked like staying involved with student leadership and helping lead middle school life groups. It was an opportunity for me to not just wait until I was older, wait until I had a degree, had gone through college to start pastoring, but to start leading and loving people in that season. In other words, what he said is the time to start making a difference isn't in the future when you're ready, but the time to start making a difference is actually now. You see, there are times in life that God calls us into action. And my heart for all of us is that we wouldn't sit around waiting for God to do something when he has already called us to go and make a difference. That leads us to our bottom line for today, if you're taking notes. And that is this: don't waste your life waiting to make a difference. Don't waste your life waiting to use the gifts that God has given you. Don't waste your life waiting until the timing is right, because there's always people around us that we can love and help make a difference in their life. So how do we apply this to our lives? 1 John 3:18 tells us this: dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. You see, this verse reminds us that if we love people, we need to have actions to back it up. We can't just say the words, I love you, I care about you, I hope you're doing well, but we actually need to do something tangible about it. Don't wait to start serving others. So who is it in your life that you can reach out to? Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's even a teacher who was working really hard on Zoom to help teach you stuff. Whatever it might look like, whoever it is, who is someone that you can reach out to? I would encourage you, if you can't think of anything, even just to pray, to ask God, who are some people that you've brought into my life that I can reach out to? And I promise you, he'll start to show you the people around you that need God's love the most. A question as we begin to close today is this: how can I serve with my abilities this week? Who needs the love of Jesus that I can love well this week? Wherever you guys are at today, I would encourage you to go. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until next week. But even tonight, to send a text, to show a way, to find a way to love someone in the circle around you. Don't waste your life waiting to make a difference, but start making a difference today. We love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm just going to go ahead and say a prayer for you, and then we'll close. God, I thank you so much for the chance that we have to gather together online. God, we thank you for the chance, Lord, even starting next week to be together in Zoom groups. God, we're just so thankful for the ways in which you've blessed us throughout this crazy season. God, I pray for the student out there tonight Lord, who maybe feels like they're too young to make a difference. God, would you give them your courage? God, would you give them your passion and your love for people? And God, I pray, Lord, that we'd see so many stories, God, of students in our youth ministry rising up to make a difference in their community, God, and in the world around them. So thank you so much for this chance again, God, to dive into your word. We love you. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. Just a reminder, next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., Zoom groups are launching. The link will get sent out to your emails. It'll also be posted in the Instagram. You can get it from your leaders as well. So more details on that to come. We love you guys. Thanks so much. We will see you next Wednesday.